Hi everyone!
Sanbonani dumalani salam alaikum.
You have not seen this combination on your screens before. We're very excited.
I'm very excited, mate.
Very, very, very
I
excited.
get to take my shoes off.
I get to instruct. Let Go and Flow. We are so glad that you've chosen this program with us. We've put a lot of love into this. We're very excited.
It's going to be very epic. I'm actually very excited. This is your first time on the seat.
This
Instructing.
is my first time on the seat instructing, and I'm very excited to take you through some yoga movements. So, as you guys obviously realize through the name, Let Go and Flow, it's a combination between yoga and lit movements. So slow, precise,
and everything. Nice.
Yeah, we're working on a combination of things. So we're looking to strengthen the body, we're looking to tone. Then, of course, the aspect of mobility and flexibility, which such a strong oak is surprisingly flexible.
Not really. I'm feeling really tight tonight.
Well,
Bianchi's is a bit strong.
I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed. Guys, other than that, you can have yoga blocks nearby. It's quite a nice prop as support, especially if your body is quite tight or you're completely new to some of the poses. But yeah, pretty much just take it at your own pace, look after your body, and reach out to us. That's why we put these programs together. We are real life humans, even though we're behind a screen. Pop us a message, ask your questions.
It's real.
It's so real.
So real.
And yeah, I think that's that.
I'm very ready. So let's get to it. To your mats.
We're going to get going. All right, so we're going to start in child's pose. So Louis, you can come down. You're going to bring your big toes to touch. Take your knees nice and wide. And then reach your fingertips forward to the floor. Take yourself as far forward as you can comfortably go. If a child's pose is not available to you, you can always place a cushion between your buttocks and your heels, or just sit in a butterfly pose. So you'll be sitting on your buttocks with the soles of your feet touching and taking the same forward fold. So here we're focusing on lengthening the spine. You can see Louis' hands are nice and spread, outer shoulders relaxing down, and then we'll just connect to the breath. So when you're ready and you're in your child's pose, you can close your eyes. And I want you to take 5 full deep breaths. And so as you breathe, expanding into the lungs, out to the sides, into the back body. Feel how the skin starts to stretch. Feel the movement in the belly and in the chest. And then just relax now into this practice for the next 30 minutes, putting everything else on pause. Gifting yourself this time to stabilize the body and stabilize the mind. So finish off those 5 breaths. And after your 5th exhale, you can bring yourself back up. You're going to come into tabletop position. So bringing shoulders above the wrists, or rather wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Those palms are nice and spread, so we spread through the hands so that we support our wrist joints. We're going to move through a cat-cow sequence. So let's start with our cow pose. Look forward, lift the chin, lift the sit bone so you're arching through the spine. That's your inhale. And then your exhale, opposite movement. So flexion, curl and round, press into the hands, stretch through the upper back. And then keep going 4 more rounds like that. Encouraging the body to breathe first and then move so that the breath becomes an invitation to the body to change shape. So keep going at least 3 more rounds. And as you move through this, such a great opportunity to move through like a little full body scan. So from the top of the head down to the tailbone, tuning into the spine, what it's feeling like, what's going on in the shoulder girdle, what's going on in the pelvic girdle. Beautiful, really nice form, Louis. And you can actually see that he has chosen to keep his toes tucked under, which is quite a nice variation to also get a good stretch underneath the feet. But you could also be on the top of your feet, which means you'll get a nice stretch in the top of the ankles. Beautiful. All right, back into your neutral spine. We are going to move towards some nice side planks today. So let's warm up the wrists first. Just starting with the fingers facing forward. I want you just to start to make little circles with the wrists. So taking your shoulders forward and around. So obviously the more forward you're going to move, the more weight you'll put on the wrist and the more of a stretch you'll get to the back of the wrists. If this is enough for you, stay here. Otherwise, you can rotate your fingers out to face the long edges of your mat. And if you want to go even deeper, you can take your fingers to face all the way behind you. So just taking some time and being very mindful, you'll get a very good feeling here for what is going on in the wrist joints. Remember, through most of our day, our wrists are in this rounded flexion, so the shortening of the bottom of the wrist, it's writing with a pen, it's keyboards, it's computers. So now we're opening up the wrist, especially since we are going to be weight bearing on those wrist joints in that extended shape. All right, really nice. So once you feel your wrists are nice and warm, you can bring your fingers to face forward again. We're going to move into a standing forward fold, so raise the knees. Start to walk your hands back to your feet. Keep your knees nice and bent and just allow the head and the arms to really hang forward and down. Curl the chin in, let that whole back line release, the whole back line soften. All right, we'll just take a couple breaths here. Just feel the lengthening through the hamstrings, the buttocks, all the way across the spine. And you might even feel that up to your eyebrows, and that reaches all the way back down to underneath your heels. All right, let's bend the knees a little more. Prepare for a spinal roll. We're going to press into the feet. Slowly roll the spine all the way up. And then it's the shoulders and the head that loops up last. Nice, Louis. Feet are hip distance. We'll do one more like that. So let's take a high mountain first, reaching the arms all the way up. Nice full body stretch, reaching up. And then take a gentle bend in the knees as you fold yourself all the way back down. Full deep breaths. And then even more of a generous bend in the knees as you prepare to roll the spine again all the way up, vertebra by vertebra. Take your time, feel into the body, and then again it's the shoulders and the head that comes up last. Nice, well done. All right, moving to our chair pose, one of Louis' favorites. You're going to bring your big toes to touch, so bring your feet together. Extend your arms either side of you like you're a little soldier. So fingertips facing down to the floor, so arms first down, look forward, look up, draw the shoulders down away from the ears, and then you're going to start to sink into your chair. So remember, weight in the heels here, and then you're sinking down a little more, a little more, a little more. Nice. And then I want to show you here, instead of having this kind of long lengthening of the spine, you're going to draw the ribcage just slightly in, not too much, but feel almost like if you had a tail, that your tail was heavy, and drawing your tailbone slightly down. Nice. Reach your arms all the way up. Bring the gaze up. Look up. Remember, your head is really heavy, so you want to carry your head yourself. Stay 2 more breaths here. Don't crash your knees in on one another. Really soft connection. High mountain. Release the legs. Come all the way up to stand. Arms up. Beautiful. Okay, nice little side twist. So let's twist to your left. Left arm back, right arm forward. And then watch that left hip. Keep squeezing that left hip to face forward to square off. Beautiful. Left arm down, bring it forward and up, both arms up. Twist to your right. You can take a nice big sigh out as you twist. Your great alignment with the hips, Louis. So we've got full body awareness from your toes to your fingers. Coming back through to center, right arm lowers, bring it forward, arms all the way up. And then just take a big circle with the arms round, back and down. Same thing here, sit down into your chair. We're going to switch on those legs. Pelvis tilt slightly backwards. Yes, nice, Louis. Arms up. Changing it up now just a little bit to find a little more stability. Bring your weight into your left foot. Come into your high mountain, but as you do, raise your right knee up with you. So right knee comes all the way up, look forward. And if you lose your balance, that's perfectly fine. You simply bring yourself back. See how nice and active Louis' foot is? Okay. Twisting to your right. Move slow, move steady. Right arm back. Left arm forwards. Come back through to center. I can hear him breathing. It's amazing. Twist to your left. So twist second side. Yeah, take your time. No need to rush. Come all the way back to center. Let's find that pose one more time. Arms up. And then release the arms down. Release that foot down. Take a little loop of the shoulders. Let that go. Find your chair pose. Sit down. We won't hold it for too long. We're using it as a transition. So bend nice and deep. Float the arms up. Weight into your right leg. And as you come up into your high mountain, left knee up. Awesome. Flex that left foot. Activation all the way out to all corners of the body. We're going to twist. Let's twist to your left first. Left arm back, right arm forward. Nice and stable here, Louis. So you'll always have one side that feels more stable than the other. Come back through to center. So that's perfectly normal. Arms up, twist to your second side. Nice. Beautiful. Great work, Louis. And then you'll come all the way back through to center. Take the arms all the way up. Last little hold. And then foot down, arms down. Take a loop of the shoulders again. Let's release the hips in a nice little squat. So heel toe your feet apart. It's an external rotation of the hips. The knees and the toes follow the line of the hips. And then you're going to sit down into your squats. So if you need to here, so Louis, just show a variation with heels lifted because you've got a lot of flexibility. So lift your heels a little bit, and then you can always be on your fingertips. That's fine as well. Okay, but otherwise you're sitting down into your heels. You can see Louis's got great flexibility here. Ankles, knees, hips, there's lots going on here, but it's really a fantastic pose, especially for the lower back and actually for your digestive system as well, Louis. So lots of benefits in this little pose. All right. From here, bring yourself into a little halfway lift. So lift the buttocks, heel toe the feet hip distance. Relax the head down and prepare for a spinal roll to bring yourself all the way up. And you'll take a nice loop of the shoulders as you look forward and up. Well done, team. All right, so for the next little sequence, feet stay hip distance apart as we move through a few different movements. We'll start high mountain. As you reach your arms up, take a nice full deep breath in. Bend your knees slightly as you fold yourself all the way down into your forward fold. So a little repetition of movements we've been doing. Okay, from here, we're going to go into a high plank pose. So look forward, walk yourself into a plank pose, hands forward. Feet can move back. Nice. Again, the wrists are under the shoulders. You got that long line from tailbone to crown of the head. You're really nice, Louis. Great form, great alignment. Let's all lower the knees. Okay, so this is almost like a little reverse push-up. We call it chaturanga in yoga terminology. So elbows hug in and back as you bring your belly all the way down to the floor. Okay. Once you've lowered down, untuck your toes, press the tops of the feet into the mat and slide your hands forward of your shoulders a little wider, and we'll take our cobra pose. So cobra pose, you're lengthening, shoulders down away from the ears. Yeah, it looks great, Louis. Little tuck of the chin so you keep that long line in the neck. Little other way. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Take one more breath here. Activate the postural muscles, the back muscles of the body. And then we'll lower down. Slide your hands back either side of the rib cage. Press onto your knees, tuck your toes, and find our first downward dog of the practice. So let's keep our knees nice and bent for this one. Nice long spine, so we always prioritize the spine. And then really broadening through the upper back. So Louis's got really big shoulders. Let's not tell him this all the time, but we can. So he can actually take his hands a little bit wider, giving the shoulders more space, and these outer shoulders are rolling down towards the floor. Yeah, really nice. And then there's this energy line that runs all the way up, but you're still keeping a slight little joint in of the rib cage. Yes, beautiful. Walk your hands back towards your feet, back to your forward folds. Prepare for your spinal roll. Bring yourself all the way up. And then once you're up, take a loop of the shoulders. Well done. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, arms up. Little bend in the knees as you fold yourself forward and down. Look forward, walk yourself into a plank pose. And I hope you're breathing at home because Louie's got some amazing breath to movement going on here. All right, so remember we lowered our knees in the first round. If you can, this round, keep your knees off the floor. It's a slow chaturanga down to the floor, elbows hug in and back. And you're gonna lower yourself all the way down until the whole front of the body is lowered down. Untuck the toes, hands forward of the shoulders, wider than the shoulders. A little cobra pose here again as you lift the back body. Keep those elbows hugging in, touching the side of the body. Look forward so you're still carrying the head. So a little bit lift of the chin, Louis, looking slightly forward. So you've got this arc from the top of your head to your tailbone. Nice. And then you can lower back down, hands either side of the rib cage, press onto your knees. Tuck your toes under, find your downward facing dog. All done. Take 2 full breaths here. All right. And then let's rock ourselves back forward into a plank pose. Lower your knees for a moment. Let's come off our wrists, so coming down onto your forearms. Your outer elbows are in line with your outer shoulders, and you're going to interlace your fingers. Then what I want you to do is I want you to bring your bottom pinky to the inside. So then you can see you've got a nice flush surface with the ground, and you're not going to kind of hurt that pinky finger by squeezing it underneath the hands. All right, pressing firmly down into the elbows. We're going to move into our dolphin pose. So toes tuck under, buttocks lift. So it's like your downward dog, except we're on our forearms. And then we're going to do a few walkouts here. This is a tricky one. There's a lot of flexibility required, a lot of strength. So I need you to switch that breath on. Keeping your arms as they are, you are going to start to walk your feet backwards. So you're going to walk back into a plank, forearm plank. Nice. Breathe, walk into your dolphin pose. You're going to stay with me now. We're going to do 4 more of these. We'll get a nice break. Walk your feet backwards. And then feet walk back in. Nice. And then you're going to do 3 more like that. And what you're focusing on while you're doing this is lots of shoulder strength. You can keep going. You're going to do 3 more like that. Is that the shoulders stay in line with the elbows. And you're not pushing the shoulders past the elbows. Nice. Stay with me. Well done, Louis. Let's do 2 more rounds like that. You can move them a little bit faster, but with control. Nice. And last one. Stay here. We're going to push ourselves just a little bit. Take a breath if you need. Lower the knees. Giving the arms a little bit of a break. Shake it out. All right. Back into your dolphin if you've come out of it. Raise your right leg up. Hip line level. You're nice, Louis. Take a breath in. Breath out. Lower right leg down. Left leg up. Stay with me. Just 1 breath in. 1 breath out. Lower the left leg. Lower both knees. Come all the way down onto your belly. All right, well done. We get a bit of a breather here, a little bit of a stretch and a release in the shoulders. So take your arms out either side of you in a T shape. So shoulder, elbow, wrist. Keep this left hand flat on the mat, and you're going to start to roll onto your left hip. You can look to your right. Press into your right hand as you roll onto that left hip. So you could stay here if that's enough for you. Stretching into that left shoulder, front of the left shoulder, the pec area. Make sure your head is relaxed so you're not holding tension in the neck, the jaw, the face. If you want to go a little deeper, you could bend that top knee and place the foot on the floor behind you. Yeah, really nice, Louis. All right, well done, everyone. Let's take 3 full breaths here. Just let that all go. Breathe it out. And when you finish your 3rd breath, we come out, we reverse. So leg back, Roll back onto your belly, look down, and then switch. Right arm out to the side, palm down. Roll onto your right hip, and then try and take a similar version on this side as you did your first side. So we look to balance out the body, and even if the body doesn't feel the same on both sides, doing the same kind of shape gives us a good indication of where our body is at and where we are maybe having some issues with imbalance or overworking muscles or underworking muscles. Take 3 full breaths. You can relax here. You can close your eyes. Let everything just soften. All right, testing our arms, testing our core by moving really slowly today. All right, we'll come back through to center. Coming into your Sphinx pose, bring your elbows in underneath your shoulders. Your fingertips will face forward. You're on your forearms. Yeah, very nice. So you can bring your elbows even more forward, all the way to underneath your shoulders. Yes, nice. Okay, so this is going to be a tricky one. From here, we're pushing up into a forearm plank with the palms down on the floor. So start to activate your core, draw pubic bone to navel, tuck your toes under, raise your thighs off the floor. So tuck the toes underneath your feet, toes under, other way, yeah. Thighs off, connect your core, float the hips up off the ground. When you're ready, lifting all the way up. Nice. All right, we're going to do a little side to side. So I'm going to let Louis move at his own pace. You're going to move onto your right hand, right elbow, and onto the outer edge of your right foot. Find your stability, stack your feet, raise your left arm up. When you're ready to move slow and controlled, you're going to move over to your second side. So you can just keep going at your own pace, Louis, over to your left. Remember that you're breathing, fueling the body as you move through the movements. And we're going to do only 2 more to each side. So over back to your right. Feel all those little stabilizing muscles in the core wake up and switch on. Everything is moving together. So your body, even though you're moving individual parts of the body still works as one unit. Well done. Nice, Louis. One more over to your second side. And then come back into your plank. Let's lower the knees down. Then I just want you to untuck your toes. Take your hands out in front of you. So just stack one hand on the other. Just rest your forehead on your hands for a moment. Yeah. So let's just take a breather here. Just let everything soften. So there's a lot of power in holding poses and moving slowly. But I really like to go, let's push to the edge, and then we pull back, gather the breath. Push to the edge, pull back, gather the breath. And what that really allows us to do is stay very present and really look after our body's needs. All right, well done. Okay, we are going to find our downward facing dog. So when you're ready, Louis, up and back, downward dog. Nice. Okay, so everything we've done in the practice today, building us up to our kind of more of a full side plank. We are going to move into our plank pose. So if you really struggle with wrist injury, guys, you're going to be doing this on your forearms. Otherwise, we're going to do what we just did on our forearms, but on our wrists. You're going to move into a stacked side plank on your right hand. Stack onto the outer edge of your right foot, raise left arm up. If you need to have extra stability, you could bring your foot forward or back. Okay? Otherwise, stack the feet, and then you'll move over onto your second side. So the core's really squeezing now. You need to focus on deep full breaths. You're going to do 2 more to each side. Move super slowly. Move into the pose and out of the pose with the same awareness. So often we enter something and we really like, cool, I'm doing this, I'm into it. But then when you leave, you're already on to the next movement. No, stay with this movement. You're doing 1 more to each side. Until you've completed that movement, you are fully focused in the moment on that particular pose. Nice. And then you'll look down, bring your knees down, And just sit back onto your heels. You can untuck the toes, come to sit. Lift the chest, start to move through a few little wrist rolls here. So let's just release the wrists. And then we're kind of moving into our peak pose, which is going to be our side plank with a lift of the leg. All right, so I hope you guys are ready. You can do this on your forearms as well. But remember, the more we condition our body, the more it opens, the stronger it gets. So even if you hold for a little bit, I suggest you just give it a try. All right, back to your downward dog, please, Louis. Up and back. We're going to move into our plank pose as our preparation. And then we're going to go on to same thing to that side plank. Roll onto the outer edge of your left foot. Top arm up. Spread through the palm of that top hand. Yes. And then you're going to activate top leg. Raise it up. Flex that top foot. Yes. And now if I look down at you from the top of your head, you want your body to be in a nice long line. So squeezing rib cage in. Don't hold your breath. Relax your face. And then come back into your plank pose. Well done. Second side. Let's switch over. Come off that right wrist onto left wrist. Okay. And then it's a squeeze. It's almost like all the muscles in your body are giving your bones a hug. Those thigh muscles are working. Everything's working. Come back to center when you're done. Let's take a child's pose. Lower the knees down. Sit back. And this time, if you like, you can even bring your hands back behind your heels. Just allow the shoulders to roll all the way forward. Just let that go. Nice. We're not done yet. Going to do one more shape, so stay with me. Find your downward dog. Hands forward, hips up and back. You can even take a little paddle out of the legs here if you like. Just kind of drop one heel and then the other down. Just open up the backs of the legs. All right, last bit of work on the wrist here, guys. Back into your plank pose. When you're ready, find your side plank. On side plank onto your right hand. So onto the right hand. Yes, perfect. And then we're going to just a little back bend here. You're going to bring your left foot up and back behind you to the floor. Press into both feet. Nice, Louis. And then top arm lifts, chest lifts, gaze lifts. Strong this. That whole back line of the body is holding you here. All those posture muscles, glutes are fired up. Muscles in the back are fired up. Beautiful. Look down. Come back into your plank pose. When you're ready, switch to second side. Last bit of hard work here, everyone. Stay with me. Stay focused. Stay calm. Remember, you're bringing that top leg up and back. You're really nice. And then just a last little tip here. That bottom elbow, you're not wanting to overextend it. So micro bend that bottom elbow always. Tiny little bend. Bring yourself back into your plank pose. Last plank here. Love the plank. Up and back to your downward dog. Nice little stretch. And then you can bring the knees down in your own way. You're going to bring yourself to lie all the way down on your back. Favorite pose. Louis' favorite pose. Coming all the way down onto your back. Let's bring the knees to the chest. Give yourself a nice little squeeze. So you can either hold the back of the thighs or the front of the shins. Soften the whole spine. Well done, everyone. Then let's keep our right knee to our chest. Extend your left leg forward. Open your right arm out to the side. We're moving into a supine twist. So take right knee over to the left. You're going to roll onto that left hip. And then here you can take this as far as feels good. So some of you might rest that top foot on the bottom thigh, or that top foot might go all the way over to the floor on your left. Close your eyes and I want you to take 3 full deep breaths here. Just in and out through the nose, softening the body. Take your time, and after your third exhale, you'll come back onto the spine. Bring left knee up to meet right. Nice little squeeze. And then we'll switch. So right leg forward, Left arm out to the side. Roll onto your right hip. And then again, you're taking a similar variation on this side as you did the first, adapting for the second side, but using that similar shape to kind of show you what's going on in the body. And so when we really start to be conscious and aware in our bodies, we start to stabilize in our bodies and internally. That leads to a more stable baseline of our energy, of our emotional state, of our mental state. Beautiful. Then you can bring yourself back through to center. Last little squeeze here of both thighs to chest. You can roll your upper back up if you can. Bring your nose to your knees and give yourself a nice full squeeze. And then a full body stretch. Reach your arms back behind you, feet forward. Nice full stretch. You can relax down. And then we'll just take a very short shavasana here. You can bring your arms either side of you. Palms facing up, so we open through the lungs, the armpits out to the palms of the hands. Feet flop out, eyes are closed. And as I mentioned, our awareness of the way we move into a pose is as important as when we move out of the pose. It's the same with our practice. When we enter our practice, we have as much awareness as when we leave our practice. And that leads to off our mat. Any situation, any commitment that we make, that we always enter something and exit out of it, begin and end the way that so you end the way that you started, with that same awareness. You can take a couple more breaths there. And then when you're done, 3 or 4 more breaths, you can bring yourself all the way up to sit. Take a last full deep breath in with me. Last deep breath out. And well done. Louis?
That felt so good.
Felt good?
Team, I must confess, that was fabulous.
Fabulous. What did you enjoy?
I enjoyed the variants of I obviously love a challenge and also love a good stretch, but I enjoyed the variants of the different planks.
Different planks.
So, of course, starting off with the easy from the elbow into the wrist, into the high plank, and then, when I had to lift that leg, I felt it. But you gave me a very good tip, which on that first side, you said, or you mentioned when I rolled over to the second side, not to fully extend and lock the elbow. So when I kind of left it soft,
just a little, everything softens.
Yeah, so I don't put too much tension on the triceps. I mean, they're really large, so I need to make sure that.
And then all of you at home who perhaps have hypermobile joints, you need to be careful, especially with it. So you're not looking to have that kind of full. You can see, like, I have like no hypermobility in my joints, but for a lot of you, the joint kind of goes further. For you especially, and when I say micro bend, it's not a bend. It's literally, you feel inside, it's a tiny little, just a softening. And you'll actually feel that when you do that, there's other muscles in your body that activate to help hold you in that pose.
I also think, in that position, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm no yoga expert, but from an exercise point of view, the position of your hand and the way you rotate that arm
100%
is also going to really impact how you activate the shoulder and triceps. So you don't want to ideally overwork one. You want to make sure that you're in a position that you stabilize.
And just holding that diagonal line. And I always say, work from your midline out. So don't put your hand in a position and then expect the wrist, elbow, shoulder joint to follow the line of the hand. No, the hand follows the line from the midline out. So it's rotation of shoulder, followed by elbow, followed by wrist. Rotation of hip, followed by knee, followed by ankle. And that's a really good rule to keep your joints safe.
Very good. Very good.
That was amazing.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Kathy.
Louis.
That was lovely. Thank you so
well
much.
Well done,
team.
everyone. And this has been very fun. I'm being challenged beyond my challenges.
Well done. You did well. Your first session on the seat vibes.
Yeah.
You rocked it. Very proud of you.
Thank you. Everyone, have a beautiful day further.
Cheerios.